In today's video, I built a T-72, scrape off some boxes, and build new ones from scratch. Hello there, welcome to my new video. Today I am modifying this Zvezda 1:100 scale T-72B. I am going to use some evergreen polystyrene sheets and parts from other models to create T-72m2 Moderna. Let's get right to building. The parts are rather nice for the scale. Don't expect much detail since it's a gaming. But for example, the turret looks very nice, considering it's just one piece. The tracks are molded in one piece as well, which sacrifices some detail, but they will work nicely for our... The build is straightforward and really easy, even for beginners. I start modifying the turret by removing all the boxes and the ERA. I accidentally made a big hole on the other side while cutting off the box, which was very stressing me out. So I sanded it a little bit and found a solution. I put a little styrene piece inside to reinforce the broken part, and then I covered it up in Tamiya white putty. Then it all was just sanded down, so it is flush with the turret. After scraping off some ERA on the hull that was molded on, I made new ERA blocks from old ERA in 1/72 scale. I also made a new driver's port as it was modified on the real vehicle. If you're curious, this is contact 1 ERA from 1/72 scale T-72AB. The entire turret was made out of styrene sheets. For the ERA on the front, I cut out 3 triangles that I then glued together and sanded them into the right shape. Some detail had to be sacrificed due to tiny scale. Here is the model after the assembly. It's time to prime it. Now, as you can see, I modified the 30mm cannon to be a bit more realistic than what I had before. I start the painting by mixing Vallejo, a Russian uniform, with some white. I thin it down. And then I apply it in 2 thin layers so I don't cover any details. Then I apply the second layer. All the rubber parts and the cannon were painted with Vallejo German grey. I left this entire segment in the video because I feel like the painting is really satisfying. I even painted on the lenses of the commander's optics so it doesn't look like a block of plastic but an actual device on the turret. Then the tracks were painted with Revel Aqua Tang Grey. I find this color to be best for. Then I mixed some even lighter color and dry brushed it across the entire vehicle. It makes the tank look more crisp as if you added HD filter over it. And it also picks out the highlight that you would otherwise do with an air. It also makes the tank look a bit more used, which is what I was going for, as this is just a prototype and I can basically do whatever I want with it. Basic coloring is done. As you can see, the tank is really crisp. I could leave it like this, but I like some chipping, so next, with the same light color, I did some manual chipping, both on the turret and the hull with a brush. You could use some other chipping methods like sponge chipping for example, but I feel like that type of chipping is a bit too uncontrolled for this tiny scale and would result in a disaster. Unless you want a really destroyed vehicle, but I think by then you should invest in some chipping fluids and use that instead. I try to chip only the most frequented areas of the vehicle where the crew would walk. I also used War Thunder's model as a reference, and that correlates with something I will talk about later. I filled in the bigger chips with brown color to simulate rust that's forming on the chip parts. This wouldn't happen to a real vehicle most likely, but as Night Shift says, it gives more interest to the vehicle, and I think it looks kinda cool. After then, it was time to apply some decals. I have these 1/72 scale decals from a local hobby club, and they are a bit too big, but I think they work really nicely with the vehicle. I put them on the sides. I think these look really nice. For the washes I used Ammo by Mick Dark Brown Wash. I think this wash works really nicely with green colors, mainly because the Slovak green camouflage is a bit more brown than the Russian one, so it gives you that nice effect. I thin it down with water since these are acrylic wash. And then I cover the entire vehicle. However, I still try to give it some control and put it over the most detailed areas of the vehicle. The same applies for the turret. I try to avoid the decals, so I don't have brown insignia, but I put it everywhere else. Then I blend the washes with water, as these are acrylic washes. It doesn't work the best for this tiny scale, but in bigger scales it works really nice. For the rust areas, I used Vallejo Light Rust. I put it over the brown spots in the lighter color and then blended the corners so the part above the brown spot is the most rusty. So it creates this gradual effect of rust. And it looks really nice. I again blended with water. The dust and mud was done by using some heavily diluted scent colors and also Vallejo environment weathering effects. This particular one has some grass particles in it, which simulates heavy mud really nicely. At the end, I really want to thank you for watching this video. This is the first video in the series of War Thunder inspired dioramas. I will try to release the diorama for the Moderna ASAP, but I don't know how it's gonna work. So if you wanna see these dioramas, please show me some support by liking and subscribing, so I can see that it's worth spending a lot of money on 1:100 scale kits, because they're really expensive and quite hard to come by in my country. If you really like what I'm doing here and you would like to support me financially, please consider going to my Patreon. It's not really started just yet, since there's no one there, but if I see enough people actually interested, I will try something interesting to post there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching again, I really appreciate it. Here is the presentation of the final model, and see you next time.